did a video on image transfers, and this time I thought I'd do one on texture. I put probably texture in my paintings, I think 95% of the time, and sometimes it's hard to see on my blog, but people always comment on the texture, so I thought I'd show you what I do. This painting is full of texture in the dress, in the background, and I've got some crackle paste up here. So today I'm going to give you a demonstration on how to use the texture paste, the molding paste, and do a little painting at the end to see what it looks like. So there are a variety of products on the market to achieve the texture you want to get, and actually there are a ton in the hardware store. Spackling, joint compound, that's a whole other video because you have to add things to them to make them strong enough to stay on your canvas. But this is actually an example of spackle. I think I might do another video on this, so we won't talk about this much today, but it gives me a lot of texture. So the products that we're going to use are golden. Of course, there are other products, Liquitex and other things that will do the job for you. But we have here hard molding paste, light molding paste, regular molding paste, crackle paste. I didn't bring my fiber paste, but as you can see, there's a ton of different ways to achieve texture. The hard molding paste is interesting because you can actually sand it and use a Dremel on it. You can carve into it, so that's kind of fun. The regular molding paste is what I'm going to use today. The light molding paste is neat too because it's got texture like cake frosting, but we won't use that today. We'll use the regular stuff and the crackle paste. Okay, today I'm going to use the regular molding paste. Let me open it for you. And I guess I'll start out with a palette knife. You can use a ton of different objects or, you know, whatever you've got laying around, stamps, to achieve texture in this. I'm just using a watercolor paper. Obviously you can do this on canvas, board. So here, let's get some of this stuff out and start spreading it around. Get a nice layer down. Credit cards are fun too because you can just drag them across and get all sorts of different looks. Okay, once you've got a nice layer down of this down, then you can start having fun with it. Alrighty. You can take some foam stamps or whatever kind of stamps you have and stamp into it. You might need to wipe it off a few times because the stuff will get stuck. And if you make a mistake like I just did, just wipe it down and do it again. These rubber tools that you can get at any craft store, you can drag them through, create some lines, and again, you'll wipe all that paste off. You might want to wash it off again because it's kind of messy. And they have a few different designs on them, so more of a wavy design there. Actually, you should actually put it back in your container. All right, and then you can scribble. You can either take the tip of a pen or one of these nibs and write your name in it. Scribble some designs. So really, your imagination, just let it go and you can have a lot of fun with that. The next thing I'm going to do is the crackle paste. Now the crackle paste needs a good coating on your paper because if it's too thin, it's not going to crackle. And sometimes the thicker the coating, the deeper the cracks. And also, environmental, yeah, I mean if it's warm or cold or humid, it'll just take a while to dry. Do not attempt to dry it with a hair dryer. You'll have to let it dry. Usually it takes at least 1 day, but sometimes up to 3 or 4 days to dry. And again, this is a really soft texture also, and you want a nice coating on your paper. And with the crackle paste, you can also throw some designs in there, and that makes it fun. In our finished piece, I put some designs in it so you can see what it looks like. Also, you can have a coating of paint under this, you know, a bright blue, whatever, red, so when it starts to crackle, that color will come through, and then you can add more paint on top. So take your nib again. All right, we're going to paint, but I have an example of a problem, something going wrong. When you use crackle paste on just plain paper and you move it around, it has a tendency to break off like mine did. Plus it had only been drying for a day, so it needed a longer drying time. I've read that in a canvas like I showed you earlier, that you need a matte medium at the end, so the matte medium will seep into the cracks and give it a stronger bond, because if your canvas or your paper like mine moves around, the stuff, not the molding paste, but the crackling paste can break off. It's very fragile. So we had it happen. It's all right, we're going to continue to paint. You saw the way it crackles on the other painting, so there's always an issue. Okay, I've got a little fluid acrylics with me, so I'm going to mix a couple of colors. We're going to start where the crackling should have been on the bottom. Oh, it's all coming up, so let's forget about that. And pretend we did it. It does really work well, just not today. Okay. Let's do the top area. You know, you see me doing this red all the time. Just going to lay down a whole bunch of paint. Now you don't necessarily see all of this texture yet. It's when we come back in after that you'll start to see it. All right, now I'm going to put some black to bring out those this texture in this painting, and I'm going to put this black gesso. And when I get it on, I'm going to rub a lot of it off. You can use a paper towel, a little wet paper towel, or even, let's say, a wet sponge. And make sure your acrylic is dry, and it will really bring out those areas. And maybe in this sun, put a little white in there. And then get a little black on the edges. It's all about making a mess. And the more of a mess you make, better it's going to come out. And you really just need to keep working it until you get something that you like. I mean, I've rubbed a lot of this color out, so I might even want to put some more red back into it in certain spots. So, but I think you can more or less get what I'm trying to do here. And again, it's trial and error, but have fun with it.